and welcome to our main news on Hope Channel Zambia, television that changes lives. To present it, my name is Theresa Kaseka. Let us look at stories making headlines. Over 40 non-Adventist children drowned during VBS at Riverview Seventh-day Adventist Church. Chief Nkole calls for the replacement of blown-off classroom roofing sheets. Blind community invade corridors of Kitwe's second-class area. And Young Women Christian Association calls for the revamping of men's Insaka. Join us after this.
What is coronavirus disease?
Coronavirus, also known as COVID-19, is a respiratory disease which can infect anyone and can lead to death.
How does it spread?
It spreads by being in close contact to an infected person, being close to a person who has been exposed to a coronavirus-infected person, or touching surfaces or objects that are contaminated with the coronavirus.
What are the symptoms?
Fever, cough, difficulty in breathing or shortness of breath, body ache or headache.
How can one prevent contracting the coronavirus?
Wash your hands regularly with soap and water for at least 20 seconds or use hand sanitizer. Avoid physical contact with other people by keeping a safe distance of at least 1 meter. Cook meat, eggs, and other animal products thoroughly before eating. Cover your nose and mouth with flexed elbow or tissue when coughing or sneezing, and throw the tissue in a bin. Avoid handshakes, hugging, and kissing to reduce the chances of getting exposed to the coronavirus. Avoid unprotected contact with live farm animals. Stay at home and avoid unnecessary traveling, whether you have the symptoms or not.
If you have a fever, cough, sore throat, headache, or difficulty in breathing, call 909 or 0974 493553 or 0964 638726 and 0953 898941 for assistance today.
This message is brought to you by the Adventist Development and Relief Agency, ADRA, in partnership with the Ministry of Health.
A Riverview Seventh-day Adventist Church Children Ministries Department has drawn over 40 non-Adventist children during the just-ended one-week Vocational Bible School VBS program, which ended on Saturday, 21st August 2022. Children's Ministries leader Ruth Mulunda says all Adventist children were tasked to go in the community, distribute literature, and invite their peers for the Bible lessons. More in the following report. Vocational Bible School, VBS, is an annual evangelistic program that the church conducts for child evangelism. Riverview Seventh-day Adventist Church last Sabbath fruitfully conducted this program and has shared with Hope Channel News the results. The Children's Ministries Department at Riverview Seventh-day Adventist Church has drawn over 40 non-Adventist children during their one-week Vocational Bible School program, which concluded last Sabbath. Children's Ministries leader Ruth Mulunda said all the Adventist children at the Riverview Church went out into the community to distribute literature and invited their peers to come for the Bible lessons.
These young ones, the children, where they go and invite their friends so that they can come and learn more about Jesus. It's more like a witnessing program for the young ones. And it's an outreach program that us Adventists do. Usually it happens once in a year. The experience that our children had during the week, many children discovered that indeed they are loved by God and they are treasured by God. There were some children who come from these homes where they've never heard the word about Jesus. By the time they came here and mingled with their friends, they felt loved and cared for.
One of the instructors explained the challenges they faced during the lessons.
The challenge that I can face mostly is for the kids who are not very much able to concentrate when learning. and then there will be those who would cry from time to time, so it would really be hard to make sure that they are all quiet and concentrated, and others are not fighting or crying.
Elder in charge of children's ministries, Derek Chifwesa, said the church has planned well how these children will be taken care of.
There are engagements that we have done. We have engaged the Department of Personal Ministries to ensure that we reach out to the children and also reach out to their parents. As the children go back, their parcels or gifts that we have put together for them, so that in these gifts there are materials that are adequate to reach out to the children. There are storybooks that they'll be reading, and then there are also books like Steps to Christ, Desire of Ages, and the Great Conference that will go out to their parents. And also, what we are trying to do is to use platforms like birthdays for the children. So for all the children that came through that are non-Adventist, we are going to get their birthdays, so that we package something special for them, so that each and every time they have birthdays, they should be coming to this church and celebrate their birthdays.
Reporting for Hope Channel News, this is Theresa Kaseka. The Electoral Commission of Zambia, ECZ, has declared as invalid the nominations filed by Patriotic Front candidates Bowman Lusambo and Joseph Malanji today ahead of next month's Kabushi and Kwacha parliamentary by-elections. Returning officers in both constituencies informed Mr. Lusambo and Mr. Malanji after they presented their credentials that they were not qualified for the by-election in relation to the nullification of the seats. Meanwhile, their counterparts from the United Party for National Development, UPND, Bernard Kanengo, representing Kabushi constituency, and Abel Charles Mulenga, representing Kwacha constituency, managed to successfully file in. Yesterday, ECZ issued a statement that it will not accept nominations from any candidates whose elections were nullified by the Constitutional Court, thereby causing vacancies in the National Assembly.
Your papers in terms of classifications and everything else are okay. Unfortunately, you do not qualify to be validly nominated in this election according to Article 72, Section 4 of the Constitution. The other papers are okay, the vote is okay, but in terms of the nullification of the seat that you are vying for, you are not qualified to stand.
Roofing sheets for part of the 3 classrooms at Nkole Primary School, which were blown off by winds some 3 years ago by heavy rains. Chief Nkole was making an appeal when Copperbelt Zambia Conference Personal Ministries Director, Pastor Adele Nchepeshi, paid a courtesy call at his palace. Speaking through his chief returners, Chief Nkole said the roofing sheets were blown off by the wind caused by heavy rains some 3 years ago and appealed to government for the replacements of the roofing sheets. And a check by Hope Channel News at Nkole Primary School found a block of 3 classrooms with part of the offices without roofing sheets with very few damaged desks. A resident teacher who declined to be on camera said she had found the roofing sheet issue in 2020 when she had reported at the school and indicated that there has been tremendous effort made by her superiors making follow-up with relevant authorities to replace the blown-off roofing sheets for some time. Details in the following report.
This is the situation at Nkole Primary School. Since November 2020, the school roof has not been worked on after it was blown off by the winds during the rain season. It's for this reason that His Royal Highness Chief Nkole in Nkole Chiefdom of the Swaka-speaking people has made an appeal to government to have the roof replaced.
So you have to number 3 years.
Free education. Yapo yafu milema la tapela na nomba, nimfola na nomba tabanga. 3 years yako na tule ya mwaka wa fono. Haba na wale sambili yafi paupe.
Napando kani ya ese.
3 years yako ana.
A check by Hope News found a block of 3 classrooms which was affected by the winds caused by the rains with no roofing sheets. Pit latrines at some teachers' houses were spotted to have been abandoned for various reasons.
When I came, I found it was already, the roof was already blown off. When it comes to infrastructure or accommodation, it's really difficult for us because these are the rooms that they are supposed to be used by the pupils, but most of the situation we are in, accommodation is really a problem. How I wish people can come to our aid to help us. We really appreciate. And with this coming of free education, there's an increase in the number of pupils. If you can help us, even the houses for the teachers, toilets, if you can go around the houses where teachers are staying, we don't have desirable toilets.
The Zambian school calendar indicates that in 2 weeks' time, schools are expected to reopen in readiness for the final examination likely to take place during the rain season. The traditional leader and the community expects the roofing sheets to be replaced in order to boost the morale of the pupils who are in examination classes. Moses Mambo reporting for Hope News in Nkole, Kapirimposhi.
Nkole District Mission Docas workers donated assorted items to some non-Adventist members near the camp meeting site. Among the items donated were clothes and some undisclosed goods. Copperbelt Zambia Conference Personal Ministries Director Pastor Adele Chepeshi, who was the main speaker at the camp meeting, requested the beneficiaries to look to Jesus rather than looking at the material items which they had received. The community service program was witnessed by the local mission district pastor Thomas Lemana, some district leaders, and a number of campers. Details in the following report.
They marched and sang joyful songs as they paraded the podium. These Nkole Mission District Docas workers who conducted community service during their camp meeting. Assorted items were distributed during this gesture. And Copperbelt Zambia Conference Personal Ministries Director Pastor Andele Chepeshi urged the beneficiaries during the program not to look at donated items but to look at Jesus Christ.
It is important to go with Christ rather than going with the material. And I know it is your desire to become a Christian.
Local singing groups were at hand to support the Docas workers' community service with music. Moses Mambo reporting for Hope News in Nkole, Kapirimposhi.
Kitwe District Social Welfare Officer Kamanga Kombe says the blind community in Kitwe second-class area have resisted efforts by the local authority to have them vacate the business area. Ms. Kamanga says despite government releasing money for them to engage in meaningful activities to sustain themselves, they have continued lodging in the corridors. Meanwhile, Copperbelt Zambia Conference Docas Federation leader Abia Jishinda says it is high time the church came through to arrest the situation. Here is a report. The blind families in the corridors of Kitwe's second-class business area has found a home in the corridors of shops where they sleep, cook and socialize as one large family after the day's work. They have abandoned their humble homes to come and find a sleeping place before they go out into the field at sunrise to sit at the roadside and pavements to beg for alms and food. Kitwe District Social Welfare Officer Ms. Kamanga Kombe says the blind community in Kitwe's second-class area have resisted efforts by the authorities to have them vacate the business class. She says they have been given an amount of money by government so that they engage in meaningful activities to sustain themselves, but this has not helped. She said this in an interview with Hope Channel News.
The group of people in second class usually helped by government through the social cash transfer. When you interview most of those beneficiaries that side, you find that they receive the social cash transfer, which is 800 every 2 months. And those people don't actually even stay in Kitwe. Most of them come from Ndola, Luansha, and they come and spend their nights there. But I think a few months ago, through the office of the district commissioner and the mayor, those people were repatriated back to their homes. So it's just unfortunate that they keep coming back. There are concerted efforts. I think the various key stakeholders, like the office of the district commissioner together with the mayor, I think we'll need to sit together and discuss the way forward or another plan for them. Because we understand there are no toilets there, the place is not conducive, but again there's a bit of stubbornness in our people. They keep coming back.
They remove them, they do come back again. So we have to work with the city council, because the health in this area is not good.
Meanwhile, when contacted through a telephone call to find a permanent solution to the plight of the blind community, Copperbelt Zambia Conference Field Dockers Federation leader Abia Jishinda says the church has to come through to help the situation.
When you speak to the conference, they just deliberately put something like a workshop to talk to them and teach them. God has blessed them in one way or another. Okay. And then you just sell the idea to them that what if they were given something? Okay. They set up a cooperative. Okay. So that they start doing something. I think that way it will work out.
Reporting for Hope Channel News, this is Theresa Kaseka. Mansa South is one of the biggest camp meetings in Luapula, Zambia Conference. It has 3 districts that are combined together. After 2 years of absence from camp meeting due to COVID-19, this year over 2,500 people shifted to this holy convocation. Main Speaker, Northern Zambia Union Conference President Dr. Namitondo Tommy encouraged people to be ready for the harvest as Jesus is coming to harvest his own.
The Mansa South Camp Meeting is one of the biggest camp meetings in Luapula Zambia Conference. It has 3 districts that are merged together under one roof. After 2 years of absence from the camp meetings due to COVID-19 pandemic, this year's campsite had over 2,500 campers to this holy convocation.
Mansa South Camp Meeting was tremendously good. We have experienced revival and reformation as we are approaching October Harvest 2022. Our interaction with the church at large, it was very good. Music, it was nice. And when Dr. Namitondo came in, the revival doubled to an extent that everybody enjoyed the services. From Sunday up to today's Sabbath, we had this meeting with joy and happiness. We have been revived, the church has been revived, and I do believe our hearts is now warm to serve our God.
And we were so excited to receive the Northern Zambia Union Conference President Dr. Namitondo, who held this theme by the horns. 138 souls were baptized. And so this has been a very exciting moment, and indeed it has revived us.
Camp meeting was very successful. I hope next year we are going to do the better.
It was amazing. I I got to know a lot of friends. I got to explore everywhere. And I got to get new friends. Got to experience how praying every day is.
The guest speaker, who is also the North Zambia Union Conference President, Dr. Namitondo Tommy, encouraged Christians to always be ready for harvest to serve God when time is still there.
You will not remain like this forever. So, it is not time to mama. It is time to preach. It is time to tell the truth. It is time to warn the world. Because any day, he will descend.
Mabuk Samuel, reporting for Hope Channel Zambia, Luapula Zambia Conference, Mansa South Campsite.
We now take a break. Stay tuned.
Hello, beloved. There are times when life gives you or leads you in a rough patch, when you feel disconnected from the Lord. You suffer from spiritual leakage. You feel like you're all by yourself. You are disconnected from the source of all power. Have you been there? I have been there. How did I get encouraged? Many times I've listened to the word of God given by different men. Well, Voice of Prophets gives you an opportune time. This is the time when the trumpet is given a distinct and certain sound, sounding certain messages for this messy age. Catch us on Voice of Prophecy on Friday at 2000 hours. The repeat runs every Sabbath at 1830 hours. God bless.
Hope Channel Zambia, television that changes lives.
Director of Public Health, Mr. Rodney Banda, has urged members of the public to have their dogs registered and vaccinated, as this is a legal requirement. Mr. Banda said unvaccinated dogs are a danger to human health. He has further called upon the public to respond to the active alert that has been communicated that cropping of unregistered and unvaccinated dogs will be conducted. More details in the following report. Many citizens are ignorant about the care they need to give to dogs. Many hardly understand the responsibilities that accompany the keeping of dogs. In Kitwe, dog registration and vaccination is ongoing, and the public has been asked to do their part. Director of Public Health in Kitwe, Mr. Rodney Banda, has urged members of the public to have their dogs registered and vaccinated because this is a legal requirement. Mr. Banda said if dogs are not vaccinated, they cause danger to health, and said the council is only providing registration for dogs that are vaccinated. He said this in Kitwe recently. He says in terms of public health, unvaccinated dogs transmit a certain type of a worm to humans when they ingest them through the vegetables planted in their backyards.
There's a legal requirement that all dogs that are 3 months old and above must be vaccinated. Once vaccinated, you get a vaccination card. Then you present it to the council for dog registration. In terms of public health implications for keeping of dogs, you know, dogs have ticks and also transmit a certain type of worm, the hydatidicysts. It causes a disease called echinococcus. These are just worms. So, you know, when dogs go to the toilet, they will rub their bottom on the soil, and then you grow your cabbages there, and then once eaten and the dogs has these cysts, you find that the disease manifests in man.
He has also called upon the public to respond to the active alert that has been communicated to them that cropping will be done on unregistered and unvaccinated dogs. However, he says there has been an increase in the number of people coming for these services provided by the council.
We have an active alert that we've communicated to members of the public that we'll be conducting dog cropping. Dog cropping means basically killing of dogs that are not registered or vaccinated.
Meanwhile, Mr. Banda said the council is closely regulating the breeding of dog species that are dangerous to human life. He alluded to incidents of dog attacks on humans and said the community must be a safe place to live in. Reporting for Hope Channel News, this is Theresa Kaseka. Ban Alcohol campaign leader Dr. Brian Sampa says the Ban Alcohol campaign has helped in the sensitization of the public on the effects of alcohol. Dr. Sampa says there has been a lot of positive feedback since he embarked on his journey. He says the public has now started engaging in any alcohol-related happenings within the country. On 8th August 2022, Dr. Sampa and team undertook a walk campaign from Lusaka to Chipata, Eastern Province, where he arrived on Tuesday, August 23, 2022, to re-emphasize his call to ban alcohol.
It all started like a joke. Today, the Ban Alcohol campaign by Dr. Brian Sampa has seen more people get on board to fight this vice. Dr. Sampa says his campaign has helped sensitize a lot of people on the adverse effects of alcohol.
Before starting off on this journey, we could see that there were a lot of things which were happening relating to alcohol, which were bad, but they were not being brought out to light. But ever since this movement started, anything that happens and has got adverse effects and relating to alcohol, people are bringing it out and they are tagging us. If it's on social media, in any other media, they are still bringing it out to say, yes, Dr. Sampa is right. Even the skeptics, they have now changed and they are applauding me for what we are doing. So this is a sign that the country has awakened and the job is being done. So we are so happy because when we were moving, we interacted with a lot of people. And fortunately, most of the people we met and discussed with, they also came to agree and they are willing to sign the petition. So we are winning this battle very soon.
On Monday, 8th August 2022, Dr. Sampa and his team embarked on a walk to sobriety from Lusaka to Chipata Eastern Province, where he arrived on Tuesday, 23rd August 2022. He was welcomed by various members of the community in support of his agenda. Natasha Mwinga, Hope News in Kitwe.
Residents of Ipusukilo in Kitwe have called on government to quickly intervene in their unfortunate plight of thefts. Residents talked to have regretted the high number of theft cases being recorded in the area. However, when contacted for a comment on the same matter, Ipusukila Ward Councillor Mr. Swaba says plans are underway to lobby for the funds to purchase a container that will be used as a police post. Here are the details.
It is a situation that has left most residents in Ipusukilo Ward in Kitwe in an unsettled mood. Theft cases have been on the rampant and it is clear members of this community are not safe.
Mayanda bayetwingire fya kwebati na tushita expect kwebati impia for example ya shibumvi na ngwefintu fya ekana bade isangu twingire bade twibire impia mama ndo kwebati maybe security tairi bwino na ngwefintu fya ekana.
In this area there are thieves, I'm telling you. The first time when we shifted here, they came, they opened our windows and they were trying to open the doors. So my husband heard and he told me, wake up, have you heard? Not yes, I've heard. So that's when we rushed to the sitting room. We find the windows open and the curtains were open also.
I think eba so benabo mabantu bushiku kuchita fintu fingi. So today pusha coffee ngakuti watutako provide security like police bale shunguluka ko during night. Otherwise we are in problem.
In response to this matter, Ipusukilo Ward Councillor Mr. Swaba says plans to lobby for funds to purchase a container, which in turn will be used as a police post, are underway.
We are trying to see where we can lobby for
containers twapangako ffe tuma police post because nga twaleba ti okukula it may not happen now omulangi wakweba ti nchende tatwakwata saana mu wati. We want to have another police post inside the ward. Usually when a crime is committed, so plans are underway to lobby for a container.
It is the hope of these residents to see police conduct night patrols even as they wait for the police post to be worked on. Natasha Mwinga, Hope News in Kitwe.
Young Women Christian Association, YWCA, has called for the revamping of the Insaka groupings where men can sit and share various challenges they face in homes. Young Women Christian Association Project Coordinator Vesa Kambafile says it is high time men began opening up and sharing the various issues they experience. This has been necessitated by the number of suicide cases involving men after marital disputes. On Sunday, 21st August 2022, a man based in Kabwe, identified as John, committed suicide by taking poison after allegedly suspecting the wife of having a marital affair.
It's very sad that we're actually having these suicide cases on a rampant. We have so many of them, fathers, mothers, children. So I think as YWCA, what we can say is that we would love to encourage a revamping of what we could, because like you've noticed, the most recent ones are men. Men are taking their lives because of marital disputes, issues are not being able to be solved. So I think as YWCA, we have been dealing with adolescent girls, young women and young boys in the community. So I think looking at the numbers of suicide cases that we're having, I would love to encourage, or we would love to encourage the men to revamp their Insaka groups. Apart from them being in the club and talking about soccer, I think this is where a lot of men are meeting, and this is more like their safe space. So I think as YWCA would love to encourage men to speak out, to open up, because suicide mainly comes as a result of mental health. And this is a mental health state where people are not able to open up and speak up about what it is that they're feeling.
Works at the Kakolo campsite are progressing well in readiness for the 2022 joint camp meeting for Kitwe East and Kana Mission districts. Pastor Wellington Zemba is expected to grace the camp meeting that will run from 28th August to 3rd September 2022 under the theme Blow the Trumpet. A visit to the site by Hope Channel Zambia found excited prospective campers making their camping structures. Joint Camp Meeting Technical Committee Chairperson Alfred Kapila now gives details on the preparations.
They are busy to ensure that they put their camping structures in place. These are members of Kitwe East and Nkana Mission districts who are preparing for the 2022 joint camp meeting at the Kakolo camping site in Kitwe. The worshiping center is slowly taking shape. Works at the pastor's quarter are yet to commence. The baptism pool is also near completion. The prospective campers found working at their respective sites say they are happy to note that the camp meeting will be held this year after a 2-year absence due to the threats of COVID-19 pandemic.
Pantu past 2 years toyayisa kuno ninte mwafe sana tukisepukira amapalo kulwa yawe
chalaba bwino pakati kubukurushanye tule tuone n'abanensu kabitulongane chapa mu katana kitulongana lyo namba ile isa mkampu na ikulisha ukuchira effort isalions. As you can see, a lot of people bale bombe nchitwe sharp sana na effort bombe nchitwe sharp sana.
Since you've come now, I'm very excited because 3 years have passed without us coming here, so I hope it will be fun.
It's somewhat reviving after having missed out on the camping for such a long time.
Elder Alfred Kapila is the joint camp meeting technical committee chairperson. He says works at the site are at 90% completion.
Our preparations thus far, we are 90% done, almost 100%. In terms of the structure, you can see the workers are the brothers are busy, doing their structures. In the area of the worship center, we're also working on it.
Elder Kapila further tours some camping structures, and he is impressed with what he has found.
This is the sleeping quarters for our mothers. We've made sure that our mothers are well, have their own space. Basically, that's the way it is. It's for our mother. For the incoming camp meeting, we've made sure that there are sleeping quarters for men. The one that you're seeing here is for men and the youths.
Pastor Wellington Zemba will be the main speaker at the Kakolo camp meeting that will be held from 28th August to 3rd September 2022 under the theme Blow the Trumpet. The hope by Elder Kapila is to see every member from Kitwe East and Nkana shifting to the camp meeting and meet their Lord and Savior.
We're encouraging the members to come through. We need to be revived. Camp meetings usually revive us.
For Hope Channel News, I'm Kennedy Mbeo Jr. reporting.
Dorcas workers of Matero and Lusaka West Mission districts spend the whole day of Wednesday, 17th August 2022, helping the needy during the Mundengwa 2022 camp meeting at Mundengwa campsite in Midlands, West Zambia Conference. Assorted items that included meal, clothes, shoes, and many more were distributed among the vulnerable. Northern Zambia Union Conference pastor in charge of music and youth, Chipulu Angel, graced the occasion as main speaker. Beneficiaries were thankful, and many of them urged the church to continue helping the vulnerable. Details in the following report.
Wednesday, 17th August 2022 was a special day for the Dorcas mothers of Matero and Lusaka West Mission districts as they extended arms in a viable community service held during the camp meeting at Mondengwa campsite. This journalist caught up with conference, district and federation Dorcas leaders who had this to say.
This community service, it helps us a lot. As you know, as Dorcas mothers, our job is to help the poor and the need. So here at Mundengwa camp meeting today, we have a community service.
Umurimo wa Dorcas ifwabera kom Seventh Adventist Church. Wakutwala elando kuntanshino kwafidisha abalanda. Ubushiko bwa lelo natukwata programu twaista identify amanidi. Yebo tole yafidisha pabushiko bwa lelo. Tafyapila papene.
We urge even other conferences to emulate what we joined for as Dorcas workers. Dorcas workers, it's not by word, by mouth, but it has to be practical.
Northern Zambia Union Conference Music and Youth Director Pastor Chipulu, who was the main speaker, Midlands West Zambia Conference Executive Director Pastor Shanyinde, and Lusaka West Mission District Pastor Bobby Hector Gamanje were present to grace the community service.
It's quite an interesting experience here at Mundengwa campsite, where we are witnessing our Dorcas workers participating in community service. I'm sure this is what James describes to be true religion. True religion is about taking care of the poor. So we are very, very excited as leaders to be part of this process. This is quite imperative to each one of us to come on board and support what our mothers are doing.
They are doing this in response to the strategy that we have put across as a conference. This strategy, we call it benevolence strategy. So they are responding to the strategy of the conference.
The spirit will continue of assisting the vulnerable in our churches and in the community at large, because this is the primary work of our Dorcas society. We just say, may God bless our mothers so that they can continue with the good work.
Amo men were active to drum up support to the Dorcas mothers.
We are very happy to support Dorcas and this community service as Amo.
It's a privilege for us to be with the fellow Dorcas workers because we are the same in the vine about the Lord. We wait for the same goal. We want to achieve the goals. We want to achieve so much, even for the little time that has been given for us before Christ comes.
Beneficiaries equally had their word of thanksgiving.
Badokasi twamirumba maningi muchitonjo mubereka njo muchiseyi mutorerere kukwasiri habambi benzuma muzwe mulimo mwinga kubwe abantu bambi warumba mulimo ngombereka badokasi bamutorerera mutachokera ansa ukwa abantu babengete
banchito mule chitaba dokasi twatotera sana lesa mipale
warumba mulimo wanu badokasi lesa musorere mazubagaya kumbere.
Give them while they carry on are the relics that stands the test of time. Don't scatter roses after they have gone. The Dorcas Mothers of Middle West Zambia Conference have done it at Mondengwa campsite. Reporting for Channel Zambia, Quincy Morgan Hamujenje.
Well, viewers, we have come to the end of our main news, but before we leave, a recap on stories that made headlines. Over 40 non-Adventist children drawn during VBS at Riverview Seventh-day Adventist Church. Chief Nkole calls for replacement of blown-off classroom roofing sheets. Blind community invade corridors of Kitwe's second-class area. And Young Women Christian Association calls for the revamping of men's Insaka. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is Theresa Kaseka.